The ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas has been a matter of concern for the international community. While the United States has been actively involved in seeking a peaceful resolution, there are doubts about its effectiveness. Some in the Middle East believe that China could play a more constructive role in bringing about a solution. There have been suggestions that the US may have a vested interest in prolonging the conflict, but such claims are unfounded. The US remains committed to finding a lasting solution that benefits all parties involved. Saudi Arabia has also been engaged in discussions with China to explore ways to address the situation. In this video, we will examine the reasons behind the US and Israel's reluctance to end the conflict. We will also discuss the potential role that China could play in bringing about a peaceful resolution. We encourage you to watch the video until the end to gain a better understanding of the situation. Let us commence. The international community has been closely following the appeals of Arab states for a complete ceasefire in the ongoing conflict. However, there seems to be some resistance from both the United States and Israel. The recent strategic move by Prime Minister Netanyahu into the southern region of Gaza indicates Israel's determination to continue the offensive despite mounting global pressure. This situation not only prolongs the suffering of those caught in the crossfire, but also exacerbates the already precarious regional situation. The reluctance of Israel to commit to a ceasefire raises questions about the underlying motivations and geopolitical strategies at play. It is imperative to carefully examine the dynamics that have led to this impasse and the potential consequences of a prolonged conflict. We must ask ourselves why the US and Israel are hesitant to end the war. If their goal is to find a solution, why is the conflict being prolonged? Amidst the turbulent landscape of the Israel-Hamas conflict, the United States has assumed the role of a mediator, attempting to bring about temporary truces and alleviate immediate hostilities. This intervention reflects a commitment to preventing further escalation and protecting the lives of civilians caught in the crossfire. However, focusing on short-term solutions has implications for the long-term prospects of peace in the region. The United States has a long history of mediating conflicts as part of its global responsibility as a diplomatic force. The current situation between Israel and Hamas is no exception, and the primary focus at the moment is to achieve a cessation of hostilities. In this process, the release of hostages is a key concern, reflecting the commitment to protecting innocent lives and ensuring the safety of all parties involved. While securing the release of hostages is an important and necessary step towards de-escalation, it is important to recognize that this is only one piece of a complex puzzle. The Israel-Hamas conflict has deep-rooted issues that require a more comprehensive and nuanced approach. Historical grievances, territorial disputes, and broader geopolitical tensions all contribute to the ongoing animosity between the two parties. Therefore, the United States must balance immediate humanitarian concerns with the long-term goal of regional stability. The focus should be on a holistic approach that addresses the root causes of the conflict and leads to a feeling of lasting peace. This requires a strategic vision that goes beyond short-term gains and seeks to build a foundation for a sustainable future. By doing so, the United States can help to ensure the safety and security of all parties involved while promoting peace and stability in the region. The Middle East region is known for its complex history, diverse culture, and political tensions that have been simmering for decades. The United States, as a mediator, must take into account the intricate web of relationships and power dynamics that shape the conflict. It is essential to look beyond the surface-level issues and understand the underlying causes to achieve lasting peace. Failure to acknowledge the broader context may limit the effectiveness of diplomatic efforts. Regional stability is dependent on the resolution of conflicts, such as the long-standing one between Israel and Hamas. The United States' role in achieving this extends beyond immediate crisis management to a commitment to fostering enduring peace in the region. This involves engaging all relevant parties and addressing the root causes of the conflicts, such as territorial disputes, religious differences, and economic disparities. A comprehensive peace deal is essential for creating a stable environment in the Middle East. Such an agreement must be inclusive, addressing the concerns of all parties involved. It should also focus on long-term solutions rather than quick fixes, paving the way for sustainable peace. The United States, as a global leader, has a crucial role to play in promoting peace and stability in the region. Saudi Arabia's decision to take the lead in resolving the Israel-Hamas conflict, and its choice to engage with China as a diplomatic partner indeed, reflect evolving dynamics in the Middle East and a shift in regional alliances. By spearheading a delegation to China, Saudi Arabia challenges the traditional roles and expectations of major powers in mediating disputes in the region, particularly the United States. The move signifies Saudi Arabia's commitment to regional stability and its desire to assert its influence in the Middle East. By actively engaging in the pursuit of peace, the kingdom aims to reshape the geopolitical landscape and potentially diversify its alliances beyond its traditional Western partners. The decision to seek diplomatic intervention from China, a significant geopolitical rival of the United States, adds an intriguing layer to this development. It demonstrates a willingness to explore alternative avenues for conflict resolution and suggests a strategic realignment in the region. Furthermore, Saudi Arabia's outreach to China highlights the growing frustration within the Arab world towards the United States as a perceived neutral peace broker. It indicates a desire for new approaches and a re-evaluation of traditional alliances as the Arab world seeks alternatives to address its concerns and aspirations. It is important to note that the success of Saudi Arabia's diplomatic efforts and their impact on the Israel-Hamas conflict will depend on various factors, including the response of the involved parties and the broader geopolitical dynamics in the region. Nevertheless, this move by Saudi Arabia marks a significant departure from the established order and sets the stage for potential shifts in the Middle East's geopolitical landscape. The ongoing conflict in the Middle East has created a complex political scenario. The United States has been reluctant to deeply involve itself in the matter, as many believe that such involvement may only exacerbate tensions. In fact, the US-Israel alliance, which is intended to provide a stabilizing force, has actually been perceived by many in the region as a factor that has contributed to the escalation of the conflict. In light of this, Saudi Arabia has recently turned to China for diplomatic intervention, a strategic move that signifies a broader shift in alliances. This decision to align with a geopolitical rival of the United States reflects a desire to break away from traditional dependencies and explore alternative partnerships. China's growing influence in the Middle East has been propelled by its economic investments in the region. Saudi Arabia's outreach to China adds a diplomatic dimension to this relationship. The kingdom's engagement with China is not only aimed at finding a mediator for the current conflict, but also signals a willingness to forge new alliances that could shape the region's future dynamics. This move is likely to have far-reaching implications for the Middle East and beyond. The Middle East has recently turned to China to help resolve ongoing conflicts in the region. This unexpected move has introduced a new dynamic to the geopolitical landscape, particularly as the United States faces internal challenges and global shifts. China has seized this opportunity to expand its influence and play a pivotal role in resolving conflicts beyond its immediate sphere. China's involvement in mediating Middle East conflicts marks a significant departure from its historical focus on non-interference in the affairs of other nations. Traditionally, China has prioritized economic engagement over diplomatic intervention. However, the changing global landscape and the increasing interconnectedness of nations have prompted China to reassess its role in addressing regional conflicts. The Middle East has been a region of complex geopolitical dynamics and historical disputes for centuries, making it a challenging arena for any mediator. However, China's recent entry into this arena signifies a willingness to engage more actively in international affairs and contribute to resolving long-standing conflicts. As China steps into the role of a mediator, it brings with it a unique perspective and approach that could potentially lead to new solutions and outcomes. Meanwhile, the United States is grappling with internal challenges and undergoing shifts in its global priorities, which could impact its ability to effectively engage in the region. Despite these challenges, the Middle East remains a critical area of focus for both China and the United States, and their respective approaches will continue to shape the region's future. China recognizes this moment of flux and seizes the opportunity to expand its influence. The US's internal challenges and changing global focus create a vacuum that China is eager to fill. China's intervention is not just about the specific conflicts in the Middle East. It is a strategic move to position itself as a key player in global diplomacy. China's involvement in the Middle East is not limited to just mediation. It has also been investing heavily in the region's infrastructure and energy sectors, further solidifying its presence in the region. This move has raised concerns among some Middle Eastern countries, who fear that China's growing influence could come at the expense of their own sovereignty. Despite these concerns, China's involvement in the Middle East presents an opportunity for the region to diversify its diplomatic options and explore new avenues for conflict resolution. As China continues to expand its influence on the international stage, it remains to be seen how this will impact the balance of power in the Middle East and beyond. The Israel-Hamas conflict is a complex issue that involves multiple countries and geopolitical dynamics. It's essential to approach claims about the motivations and interests of different countries with critical thinking and consider alternative viewpoints. In the Middle East, there are varying perceptions and beliefs about the role of China and the United States in the conflict. Some individuals view China as a neutral and impartial mediator, while others see the United States as potentially interested in prolonging the conflict for its benefit. However, it's crucial to assess these claims with caution and examine the available evidence. The United States has historically played a significant role in mediating conflicts in the Middle East and has expressed a commitment to finding a peaceful resolution to the Israel-Hamas conflict. Despite the close alliance between the United States and Israel, it's important to recognize that this doesn't necessarily imply a deliberate desire to prolong the conflict for the benefit of the United States. China's involvement in the Middle East's conflict resolution efforts is a crucial aspect of its broader diplomatic agenda and economic interests. The Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to connect Asia, Europe, and Africa through infrastructure development, has expanded China's presence in the region. Therefore, stability in the Middle East can contribute to the success of its global projects. However, it's important to recognize that China, like any other country, also has its own strategic considerations and interests in the region. On the other hand, the reluctance of the United States and Israel to agree to a quick ceasefire can be tied to their shared objective of addressing the threat posed by Hamas. This objective involves the dismantling of Hamas, which is a complex issue intertwined with security concerns and regional dynamics. The United States and Israel believe that Hamas poses a significant threat to their national security, and that dismantling the group is necessary to achieve lasting peace and stability in the region. However, it's crucial to recognize that differing perspectives exist on the best approach to achieving lasting peace and stability in the region. Some argue that a military solution is necessary to address the threat posed by Hamas, while others believe that a political solution is the only way to achieve lasting peace. Ultimately, the key to resolving the conflict in the Middle East lies in finding a solution that addresses the concerns of all parties involved and promotes peace and stability in the region. Both the United States and Israel perceive Hamas as a significant threat to their security interests due to the group's history of launching attacks and refusal to acknowledge Israel's right to exist. This shared perception fuels their determination to eliminate this perceived threat. Hamas is officially designated as a terrorist organization by several countries, including the United States and Israel, as its tactics, such as targeting civilian populations with rocket attacks, reinforce the belief that it poses a direct danger to the safety and well-being of Israelis and American citizens. The existence of a group committed to Israel's destruction is a constant security concern for Israel, while the United States, as a long-standing ally, considers the dismantling of Hamas crucial for regional stability and the safety of its partner. However, in contrast to the US and Israeli approach, China has emerged as a proponent of a ceasefire and a diplomatic resolution to the conflict. China's stance emphasizes the importance of protecting innocent lives and preventing the escalation of violence, thereby challenging the prevailing narrative dominated by military strategies. Maintaining a strong alliance with Israel is of immense strategic significance to the United States in the Middle East. The partnership extends beyond the current crisis, and US policymakers prioritize its preservation for various geopolitical reasons. The complex nature of Middle Eastern politics necessitates this alliance to safeguard US interests in the region. Additionally, the the substantial economic ties between the United States and Israel further complicate the decision-making process related to the Israel-Hamas conflict. It is important to recognize that these dynamics and perspectives can evolve over time and may differ among various actors, policymakers, and stakeholders involved in the Israel-Hamas conflict. In the current conflict between Israel and Hamas, China has been making diplomatic efforts that reflect its genuine desire for peace and stability in the region. Its impartial approach and commitment to ending the violence as soon as possible align with the shared goal of minimizing civilian suffering and restoring stability in the region. By engaging with China, the international community has an opportunity to leverage its influence and benefit from its dedication to fostering a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Regarding Saudi Arabia's request for China's help, opinions may vary. However, China's impartial approach and dedication to peace make it a potential mediator in the conflict. It remains to be seen how this will play out, but it is clear that China's involvement could be beneficial. As for the possibility of the US standing against China's actions, it is uncertain how this would affect peacemaking efforts. However, it is important to note that the US and China have different approaches to international relations, and hindrances from the US may not necessarily stop China from pursuing its goals. In conclusion, the involvement of multiple countries in the Israel-Hamas conflict highlights the complicated nature of international relations. It is important to consider all perspectives and options in the pursuit of peace and stability in the region. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you are not.